Shalom Israel first. I want to give all praise and honor to Yahweh, Bashimi outside, Bashimi Hakodash. I want to see Apostle Asbury Millstone. Peace, citation from one third of Israel. For this lesson, I want to title it No Family of the Year Award. Alright. And basically just going into how, as a man of the Lord, we don't have time to be engulfed with our family or, our woman, because the time is at hand. Work has to be done. And we don't got time to be Father of the Year Award or Husband of the Year Award or whatever whatever our family wants us to be. All right, we're men of the Lord, whom the Lord called us. Lord willing, we chosen, but we got a job at hand. We don't got time to be entangled with this shit. All right, and there's a scripture on that in I believe it's 2 Timothy. The 3rd chapter, if I'm not mistaken. But one scripture that comes to mind is Matthew 10 and 35. It says, "For I am come to set a man at variance." I am come to set a man at variance. It's not a 34. It says, "Think not that I am come to set a It says, Matthew 10 and 34. It says, "Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword." And it says, "For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law." So the Lord, He came to send division. And ultimately, that's what this truth does. It divides, those who are not to... It divides those who are not meant to come together, Because, for example, when you first come into the truth, you may have had a good relationship with your parents or siblings or whoever, and then before you come into the truth, and then when you come into the truth, it's like all those relationships, they dissipate. You're not as close as you were with your parents or your siblings or even friends in the world. All right, and even your woman, you may have had, you may have had your woman, before you came to the truth, and then once you come to the truth, it's like, you changed now, or you don't spend this much time with me, this, that, and third, a bunch of excuses. It's like it is raining if you can't hear, but that's a part of the counting the cost. This a part of the sacrifice. We're gonna have to put off relationships, put off these people, for the Lord, ultimately. Matthew 10 and 36 says, "The man's foes shall be they of his own household. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me." All right. So, we're not meant. We weren't put here to be going back to the title of the lesson, family men of the year. There's no award for that. Well, the work we're doing now is to ultimately, save our household. Save ourselves first and foremost. Well, when we'd be part of the elect, but we're doing this to be saved. Because there's danger at hand. The people around you, they don't see it because ultimately they're not, the Lord ain't dealing with them directly like that. All right, because if they were, or if Yahweh Shemashai was, they would understand, but they don't understand. That's why they complain to you about, you don't spend this much time with me, or you changed this, that, and third. All these bullshit ass excuses, but it's like they ultimately they don't understand. All right, but I'm gonna keep reading. It says, "And he that taketh his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me." It's like, "He that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. He that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it." All right. So ultimately, we don't have a life here. We're just pilgrims, and you look up a characteristic of a pilgrim is one that doesn't make one spot. A pilgrim doesn't have a home ultimately. Pilgrim doesn't have a pilgrim doesn't establish themselves in one spot. All right, we're not establishing ourselves here in Babylon. So the relationships we have here and everything we have around here is temporary. All right, as it says in I believe it's Corinthians. For we look not on things that are, for we look at the things which are eternal and not. Let me just get that. We're in the Slack here. Well, I'm just gonna paraphrase. I'm driving. I don't want to, of course, word don't want to pop up. But we look not at the things which are temperate. There you go. That's the word, temperate. But we look at the things which are eternal. The relationships we have, the family we have, everything here in Babylon is temporary. All right, and the Lord is showing us that it's temporary. Through the experiences that we go through. All right, like for example, just. Going back to the example or the point I brought up earlier is you may have had your relationships in the world with family and friends, blah blah blah, may have been good, and then when you come to the truth, it's like they're no longer there. All right, and ultimately the Lord doing that to show you how temporary this place is, and to show you how much you need the Lord. All right, we need Yahweh Shemiyosai. All right, I believe it's in Timothy, if I'm not mistaken. But it's in the New Testament for sure. It says for it is sure we came here with nothing, we shall leave here with nothing. So what you have right now is not guaranteed. Especially your woman. Tomorrow. She may be feeling you today, but tomorrow, she may not feel that way. All right, and that's just what it is. All right, so knowing that these things are, temporary, why in the world are you going to invest in something that's ultimately not guaranteed? But what is guaranteed? The words of the Lord. How about Shemi's promises? All right, so therefore, we got to give diligence to make our calling and election sure. And, we got to work to ultimately, Lord willing, make it. All right? As it says in 2 Ezra, the 9th chapter, everyone that shall be saved shall be able to escape by his faith and by his works, whereby ye have believed. All right? So we're doing this for the greater cause. All right? We're doing this to get the fuck out of here. All right? And once we get the fuck out of here, part of my French, but this is what it is. Matthew 19:28. Sorry, 27. It says, Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? All right. So when you follow the Lord, best believe you're gonna forsake things. And relationships is a part of that. All right. It says, Yahweh shall send unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. All right, what's the Lord coming back to do? He's coming back to establish his rulership, his reign on the earth. And we want to be partakers of that. All right, he's coming with deliverance and he's coming with destruction. All right, and we're not trying to be partakers of the destruction, knowing what we know, because that's what Scripture says. Basically, he that knew his father's will and did it not shall be beaten with many stripes. It's like you've been the Lord. He didn't give you the word, and you didn't got the understanding of I'm knowing how vain this shit is, but yet you want to establish yourself here. I love my woman, this, that, third. And the whole time, that's not even your woman. Esau literally has your woman. And her past niggas have your woman. All right, and that's just what it is. All right, and hold up. So it's not yours, bro. Micah 2:10, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. So like, you don't own nothing. It's not your woman, bro. It's not your family. Like, none of this belongs to us, bro. And that's something we gotta understand. Alright. Once you understand that, it's like, okay, you know, it puts you in a pilgrim-like mindset. You know, what's that in the second Esdras? He that buyeth, let him be as he that will lose. You know, knowing is like, okay, I'm not here to gain. All right, I'm here for a mission, and then shortly, you know, Lord willing, you know, the Lord's gonna reward me. All right, that's if we stand firm, you know, endure. All right. But it says, and everyone that have forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or more, or like your mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life. All right, so that's part of the count of the cost is, you know, you're gonna lose these certain things, you know, and of course, you know, it's not gonna feel good to the flesh, but we're coming to a point in time where it's like, man, fuck that shit, bro. All right, if your woman she not feeling you, man, okay, bye, you know. But that's just, you know, that's where you got to be with it, bro. You have to become ultimately cold-hearted, all right? Because we come in some cold times, all right? And, you know, we don't want these things to be stumbling blocks unto us at the end of the day, all right? It says, but many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first, all right? So, best believe the Lord, you know, the Lord is coming with a reward, all right? And if they don't want to jump on board, then, hey, that's their loss. And then, you know, I'm talking about, you know, those around you, you know, your woman, children, those that have children, you know, such and such, all right? Parents don't want to listen. Okay, well, you know, you got the word, you know, what's that saying? You could lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, all right? Also, it says in Revelation 22, if I'm not mistaken, he that is unjust, let him be unjust still. He that is just, let him be just still. Like, at the end of the day, man, everyone's playing their roles. All right, we just hope to be part of the elect. All right, so, you know, I think I'm gonna end the lesson here. Hopefully, it's well said and edifying. You know, in transit, impromptu, in the spirit. So, with that, may well praise the Lord and see how about Shemel Shah, about Shem Kakadash. Next time, shalom.